Hello friends, and welcome to the channel of Second Chances, where unwanted and discarded materials are rescued from an untimely demise, given new purpose and another shot to shine and bedazzle. This is the Cheapskate Scotsman Show, and I'm the Cheapskate Scotsman. So a while back, my wee pal Jimmy at work gave me a ton of bricks. That whole story's in my fire pit makeover video. But what I failed to mention in that video is the fact that Jimmy is a hillbilly who lives way up here in the sticks, and the Cheapskate Scotsman is a sand crab who lives way down here by the water. So Jimmy really done me a solid by hauling all of them bricks down here where we worked together. Then he'd help me load them into my car, where I took them home from there. That routine went on a few times a week for a few weeks. So the Cheapskate thought he'd thank his wee pal by making him something to spruce up the bare walls of his wee sheet metal shop at the job. It had to be something that reflected Jimmy's spirit and personality. Now, Jimmy's a God-fearing man. He's very involved and active in his church, doing good deeds and all that. He often talks about it. So I think I'll like this. Step back, the Cheapskate Scotsman's wielding his flamethrower. I'm using this thing to create some contrast between the fish and the letters. I also used it to keep the mosquitoes away. They were like, that guy's out his nut, man, stay away. But yeah, I think this thing's going to make a nice addition to Jimmy's sheet metal shop. It'll be a reminder just hanging there that the cheapskate Scotsman is a man who appreciates acts of kindness. Speaking of acts of kindness, I want to say thank you to everyone who liked and commented and subscribed. And some of you people who subscribed aren't even my family members. That's amazing. Thank you so much. You know, folks, being grateful and expressing your gratitude, it's a very important value. Now that's something my wee ma, and especially my dad, taught me when I was just wee. Would you like to hear about it?
Okay.
You see, when I was quite young, there was a lesson I learned. My father scalped my wee bum with his belt, and it burned. Now the reason he did it, why he was angry with me, well, my Aunt Maggie came for a visit to have a wee cup of tea. She brought me a toy. She always brought treats. She said that's for my good little boy as she pinched my wee cheeks. Well, I was so excited, I just grabbed it and ran. But my rudeness ignited a fire in my old man. I embarrassed my dad. He knew I knew better. So he chased his wee lad, and he gave me a taste of his leather. And when he was finally done dishing out spanks, he said, now get in there, son, and tell your Aunt Maggie thanks. Well, I walked back inside, where my auntie sat with my mum. I was all teary-eyed, still rubbing my bum. I'm sorry, Aunt Margaret, I bubbled and sniffed. I was wrong to forget to say thanks for your gift. Well, she put down her cup, and she said, "Mere you wee bugger." And then her arms opened up, and I dove in to hug her. My mum said, see what can happen when you lack appreciation. Your wee arse gets a slapping, and it leaves a stinging sensation. Well, it's now many years later, and my Aunt Maggie's long gone. So's my mum and my father. But their lessons live on. Their lessons are ingrained in my heart and my head, and they'll live on in my veins long after I'm dead. Well, that's how I came to understand the importance and value in giving those who lend a hand a sincere, heartfelt thank you. And there you are, superstar. The cheapskate's pretty happy with this result here. But even though I brushed on a few coats of that glaze stuff on there, it just wasn't shining enough for my taste. So the cheapskate cracked open his wallet with a big crowbar, and he bought a can of Polly. Or, for any Italians watching, it's a Canopoli. Hey cheapskate, why'd you distress the wood and burn it and make it look beaten and scarred, only to give it a pretty shine at the end? What's that all about? Aye, that's exactly right, pal. You see, I distressed the wood to represent the scars that faith bears from a long history of brutal oppression. Then, I sprayed that Canopoli on there to defiantly declare that even after centuries of merciless persecution, faith shines on.